Hey, baby. Yeah, hi. I'm a little bit in a weird mood today. It is 13th of September, so I'm a little bit late to start this. Only a tiny bit nerve-wracking, because I never know how long these books take me, because sometimes it takes a long time. I don't know if you can see, but it's actually, or you can hear maybe, it's raining outside like quite heavily. So I'm getting very strong sweater weather vibes, so I need to find a sweater. I don't own any. I think maybe I have like one. I need to like top up on that at some point. I need to set up a Goodreads group, so I'm gonna do that for the room, because that's where the room what? Okay. Need to make myself a cup of tea. I thought I want this to be a bit more vloggy with the book diary bits. I'm just afraid it's gonna be extremely long, but I'm trying my best. But I know a lot of you guys enjoyed my little like dinner insert in the previous one, so I thought maybe I'll try and do this more like vloggy. It's actually really having a crappy day. I was quite in a depressive mood when I woke up, and I didn't get my crap together until like 2 p.m. and then I had like a lot to do. I am releasing my mystery book today to Etsy, and I am crapping myself. I am very excited, and I really hope the people who order it like it, but at the same time I am like so scared, because you know, it's my baby. I worked on it for so long, and I'm so afraid to disappoint. I'm always afraid to disappoint. You've seen my stories today, by the way. These are the flowers that Zeus knocked onto my planner, and my Harry Potter theme is completely wrecked. Wait, I need to put... My plan is to post the video, set an alarm for 8 o'clock for when I need to release the listing. Scared. Well, this is where I'm gonna read. What makes me sad is that my not that bright now, because the battery is probably dying. Hello, Juicy, hi. You little shit. I need to put like a proper light on. Yeah, I suppose. It's not as cozy. Nah, as. Maturity level -5. Momo! Not that you care, but look, my map's broken. Why? Oh no. 1 minute to go. Oh, why am I so like scared? Usually I'm not that scared. It's out. So yeah, I made myself some tea, but I think that's probably like cold now, so I need to reheat that. I made the Goodreads group for the room. It's weird telling you this, because this is all in the past now for you when you're watching this. So yeah, this is happening now. I need to get out from my computer because I'm way too nervous and I don't want to like lurk here. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, so I'm on my bed now. There's Zeus trying to get in. He likes to be in the tent. So I have the book, I have some tea right there, strawberries, and the pastry because I'm a little bit stressed. As per the new tradition, I'm gonna read the first sentence of the book and then we're gonna start. I also found a sweater, did you notice? So the first few sentences, I suppose. Today I'm 5. I was 4 last night going to sleep in wardrobe, but when I woke up in bed in the dark, I'm changed to 5. Abracadabra. Alright, I know it's from the kid's perspective, so let's prepare to be emotionally wrecked. Hopefully it's not gonna completely ruin me and you. Hopefully we survive. Right, okay, let's start. I'm gonna hate myself when editing that I'm already turning the camera on. I'm only on page 5. I just wanted to point out how interesting it is to read from a 5-year-old's perspective, especially because so every object is written from a capital letter, making it sort of animate, and the child refers to the clock or the watch as he, you know, so it really just makes it sound, and he does that same thing for the rug and for the lamp. It's really, really adorable. And get a brief mention of the guy, and I assume, as I said, I don't know much about this, but I've heard a little bit, so I think it's the woman and a child who are kept in a room or a basement, I don't know, by a guy, and I assume that the kid is, I don't even know if the kid is hers, I'm not sure. The kid seems to be so nice though, it breaks my heart already. And it's really fun how the language is just, I mean, it's sort of like cute because it says, "You cutted the cord and I was free." You know, so the kid doesn't use the proper name for cut, it says cutted, because I don't know, I just think I'm really liking the writing style is what I'm trying to say here, and I thought it was worth mentioning, so here I am mentioning it. Oh, by the way, the pastry was extremely stale, so now I'm disappointed. I had chocolate there the whole time, didn't I? What can you do? Just popping in to express my shock at the fact that the mother is only gonna be 27. I am 25. I'm just gonna take my makeup off, so I thought I will catch up. I was a bit like chatting with people on Instagram and everything, so I didn't read as much, but I read 50 pages. I'm on the page 50 now, so it's been worse. I read less sometimes, other times, you know, because I'm a slow reader. Probably still took me like 2 hours or something. First of all, it is really a bizarre writing style and a perspective, and it's a little bit heartbreaking already, but nothing I don't think I can handle, so that's a plus. Oh, it was really funny. Some bits that this kid comes up with is actually hilarious. So like, this one that just ignores you shouting, it's evening time, this is where the cats go wild. So when this one point where the kid is watching, I like how he's like semi-learning Spanish from Dora the Explorer, although he calls it like not a real language. Also this concept of him saying it's just TV, as in like, you know, it's fake, it's not real, because obviously the mother's trying to protect his sanity, I suppose, by saying that, you know, just inventing this type of world that does not make him long to escape, because obviously she can't control that. You can see in some scenes how much it pains her every time he mentions something about like next year or how old she is, and he's 5 and she's 27, so she must have had him when she was well, she's gonna turn 27, so really she's 26, so she must have had him when she was 21. Jesus, I'm 25. I feel like I can't, like, I still not like struggle, but adulting is hard, and I can't imagine taking care of someone else, like a person as well as myself, and 21 is, oh man. SpongeBob, and he runs towards them and he touches SpongeBob and Patrick the Star, but not Squidward, because Squidward is weird. So I thought that was quite funny. And oh yeah, so like the biggest example probably was, or same as she couldn't explain is, I'm back at the TV stuff. It's incoherent. He says vegetables are real but ice cream is TV. I wish it was real though. Obviously she just doesn't want to like crush him by making him understand that it's real, all of it is real, you just can't have it. That's kind of crushing, so that one was one of the most obvious ones. And this is exactly what, because she, you know, says that the stores are not real, so these whole concepts are like just not real, it's just TV for him. And I believe that's why she can't explain homelessness to the kid, because later on she says that, because it needs new jeans, but she can't explain what homeless is. I actually laughed. I really laughed when they were talking about religion and how he says, what started baby Jesus growing in Mary's tummy was an angel zoomed down like a ghost, but a really cool one with feathers. Mary was all surprised. She said, how can this be? And then, okay, let it be. When baby Jesus popped out of her vagina on Christmas, she put him in a manger, I'm crap with that, but not for the cows to chew, only warm him up with the blowing because he was magic. This is the best Christianity explanation I've ever seen. It's so soul crushing. I mean, I understand she must hide him because she probably, obviously, she's very concerned that the monster that they're keeping them there is gonna do something to the kid, so she hides him in the wardrobe. But it's so soul crushing that the kid has to like hide in the wardrobe and sleep in the wardrobe. We don't know much about Old Nick. I don't know his real name, but that's what the kid calls him. And we glimpse a little bit of his personality, even through like the kid's perspective, just saying that he doesn't think he's real. He's not TV, but he's like half-half, because clearly it doesn't seem him as a person because of his cruelty. And the rape scene, oh man. And just the OCD action of the kid, just thinking that if he doesn't count, he doesn't know what's gonna happen because he never did not count. And it's such a, you know, faulty logic, and it's just, oh, it breaks my heart. That bit broke my heart. Oh, and they kept referring to him like getting some, like the kid, and I just never understood what the hell they were meaning because they never really explained. But then he said, I lifted her t-shirt to have some. I have to keep stopping to wipe my nose. The left is good, but there's not much. So I assume he's a 5-year-old who is still breastfeeding, and that just, like, it made me so uncomfortable to just realize that. It's completely normal for their situation, I assume, but it's, ooh, that tickled me so wrongly. But I admired how this woman is trying to protect him, and how she's trying to teach him all the things, and how she's trying to keep him fit and healthy. And it's really admirable, and she's just doing what she can and actually doing it quite well. You know, because with all the educational TV time and all the physical exercise and the diet and just everything, is just, it's bizarre how much people can do with so little. Anyway, so I'm gonna go to bed because I want to kind of wake up tomorrow semi-early. But I wanted to just let you know what my first thoughts are. Maybe I'll read a few more pages, but I probably won't. So stop. What do you want? Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Okay, anyway, bedtime. I'll see you tomorrow or whenever else I pick up this book. Night. Morning. Oh, wait. Morning. I feel like I need something. I just don't know what. And people are thinking like, why aren't you making breakfast? I can't eat breakfast until another half an hour or so because my thyroid medication needs to do its thing first. They'll excuse the washing in the background and stuff. It's nothing incriminating that you can see, so it's fine. Are you wondering why I'm not at work? It's because I have this week off. I'm not just like slacking every day. No. It's like 14th of September. The page after I stopped, the kid talks about the screaming. So they go and do the scream, and apparently they do that every single day except for Saturday and Sunday. And that is, I realized, them trying to get attention from someone else outside, and it's so heartbreaking. Then I was sort of just reading, and I realized one thing, you know, I was reading, and I am not an expert on kids or anything, but I do remember psychology of language and developmental psychology bits from university, and it sort of dawned on me that I don't really see proper justification why this kid speaks in such a... Because it's not only that the kid is speaking in a little bit developmentally low regard, you know, it's not at the level a 5-year-old would speak at. I mean, he is deprived of all of other things in life, and the woman is doing whatever she can, but just the fact that she speaks okay and he knows all the pop songs that are on TV, so he's exposed to the TV and he's exposed to her speech, and neither of those are, you know, messed up. So I'm not really sure why his speech is so behind, because he speaks like, I don't know, his thoughts are like 2-year-olds, like the sentence structure and everything. So it's kind of starting to bother me because of his environment. There's no actual reason for the kid to speak like that to this extent. I mean, I'm not talking about making every furniture a thing and animating it. That's fine, that you can do that, but just the whole because it's a kid, you know. It doesn't matter, but it's the whole sentence structure and grammar, and especially because Ma keeps correcting him, but he doesn't I don't know, do you know what I mean? It's sort of like starting to bother me, and actually at first I thought it was endearing, and now I'm reading it and it's actually taking me longer because it's like, you know, sentences don't always make sense, so it's sort of tiresome. But yeah, we just had the guy coming over to sleep, and then the kid getting sort of jealous and worried that he's also breastfeeding from Ma, and then he moves the car and the guy gets all angry, and I've just read like the first line of the next page, the next chapter, and it seems like she got strangled or punched or whatnot because she's gonna have bruises. I'm gonna go see if you guys wrote anything in the forums for the first one. No one wrote anything yet. I mean, to be fair, I did only put it up yesterday. So I'm gonna pick this up from online now. I'm also getting a little bit worried that it's gonna get like a little stretched out. I like slow books, but we'll see. There's a possibility that this might get like a lot stretched out. We shall see. Okay, talk to you later. Hello, weird angle. So this is literally like half an hour later, but I thought I will take you along with me on some of my day, because I said I'm gonna try and make this more vloggy. I'm sort of tempted to order some books because I haven't in a very long time. I'm in the shopping mood, which is a bad mood to be in because money. Seeing, how do I place you so you also see my screen? Wish I could just put you here or something, but I can't. Is that how you call it? Book, not the actual thing, thanks. This one, but it's not on sale just yet, and paperback is not even out until February 2018, so you know what? I won't. I do want this one. Is it available yet? Yes, it is. I've never read anything by Adam Silvera, so into the baggie. Ooh, Novecento, but I don't want to spend money on but I do want to reread it. £10. It's a tiny, tiny book. Next time. This is the story of my life. I think I'm gonna do that. Is there Monstrous Tree? Oh, Lady Mechanica. Where's the first one? That looks like something I would enjoy. This looks very much like Monstrous. Is this the same artist or something? I'm not actually massively into steampunk though. So I'm not sure, but this looks really beautiful. Oh, I wanted that one. Oh, there we are. I think I'm gonna go for Nimona. Oh my god, what the hell's that? New ghost. Fish. What? What are the upcoming releases? I don't even know. I'm not up to date, guys. Right. So total is a bit more than I was expecting. It's actually 10:20 and I've done like nothing, so that's a bit scary because I woke up okay for like a day off. I woke up at like 8:30, which is actually quite late. I should have woken up earlier, but well, a couple hours later and a couple hours and a few cover letters later, yeah, I haven't done any of the things that I said I will do, but I did apply to like 3 or 4 jobs because I'm not entirely happy with mine. So that's productive, but it's just stressing me out. I don't like it. I'm feeling like I should eat something. I haven't read anything, so that's that. This is turning up to be just like a normal vlog instead of, or just not even like a vlog, just me chatting with you guys instead of just actually reading stuff. I don't know if you like that sort of thing. If you do, let me know. If you don't, also let me know, so I'll stop or I'll make it this separate. I don't know. I need to work on my, I don't know. Morning. It's 16th of September. Almost said August there. It's not August. I read a little bits like here and there, but I didn't really do a lot of reading until today. So let me catch up with you. So the next big thing that happened was that the mother actually told Jack that she sort of, I think, lost control and, well, lost her temper a little bit. I think probably thought, you know, it's time. And she told him that what you see on the TV sometimes is true. And so obviously then we are seeing how the kid is finding it hard to process. And then the next day is us seeing her sort of, I think it was sort of maybe like a mechanism for herself to just pretend that everything is in outside, you know, is not real. Because once she admits that, she goes back into, has the day of this catatonic depression where she just lays on the bed and doesn't wake up and doesn't do anything. And apparently that's not the first time from the way Jack speaks about it. It's not unexpected in any way, and I think she has more bruises on her neck. And then it's just more normal day stuff in the room. I actually put a blue tab here because when she's naming the stories and she says Princess Diana and he says should have worn her seatbelt. That is cruel yet true. And I actually felt so relieved when her bad tooth finally fell out, and I was like, finally. I felt always so bad. I could never forget that every time I'm reading this. Can you imagine living with horrible toothache for like always? I always have toothache because my teeth are oversensitive, so I can always feel them, and if I like press my teeth together or anything, like sometimes I have to be very careful chewing, but they're fine, they're like fixed and everything. But I just have very sensitive teeth. Like I can't brush them with like normal toothpaste. I have to brush it with like, you know, the grandparent kind. I just imagine like there's no more annoying pain that is just constantly there than toothache. So oh, I was so happy, but apparently she just feels all the other ones, so that wasn't a big relief, but still. And then we have the bit where she actually gives him a little bit of medicine because he has a tummy ache, and I honestly thought that is gonna be appendicitis, but it wasn't, as I read like afterwards. But I was thinking, what are you gonna do if the kid actually has appendicitis? Because I am at the point where they've already escaped, so I know it wasn't appendicitis, but they did escape through her faking his death and trying to tell old Nick that the kid is sick. What if the kid was actually sick? Can you imagine how scary that would be? And oh my god, it's just... And then she talks about her family, and we learn a lot of details about the character, about the main character, the mother, because we know that she's been abducted by this. I originally thought, and I still think that, well, my theory was, we know that she's adopted, and when she says that she's adopted and she was brought up with this nice family, and she tells about his grandparents and the uncle, and my original thought then is that maybe the abductor is the biological father, that then later on is sort of enforced by her. Oh yeah, I need to find that tab. They were just singing, but she was saying his name is my name too, and the boy just keeps singing, and it says that usually the mother joins in for the na 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 part, and she doesn't this time. And I'm thinking maybe because her name is his last name, do you know what I mean? I'm not at the point where this is either confirmed or denied, but it's not confirmed, so I'm not sure if that's gonna be the case or not, but it would be a real grim added in there. I also thought it was so heartwarming throughout the whole like staying in the room. The kid constantly thinks that the mother is not hungry because she's only, or that she prefers to take smaller pieces of clementines instead of bigger ones because she likes them better, or she eats just a quarter of the bagel because she's not very hungry. But clearly, like, we as readers know that she's doing that because she wants the kid to have more. And I remember when I was a kid and my parents knew that I liked certain things, that wouldn't be like a lot of left, and I'd be like, no, that's okay, because, you know, I want to be a nice kid. And my parents would pretend that they don't want it, and I would believe them so that I could eat it without feeling bad. And that's, you know, on another level here. But the kid is a little bit in denial once he's introduced to the real world, and by that I mean when he looks through the skyline, and when he doesn't see the plane and everything, and then the mother tells him the plan, because obviously we have that power outage when old Nick basically, I assume, wants to enforce and remind them that they are at his disposal, sort of like that he can do whatever he wants with them. And then the mother probably just like finally has enough, and mostly because he told them that he's lost his job, and she's just worried that he's gonna basically kill them rather than let someone discover them, and she's thinking that this might actually happen and that she needs to do something. And obviously the plan that she comes up with is absolutely, can you imagine doing that to your kid? It's like, she must have gone crazy when Nick took the kid, and first time obviously it doesn't work. And the only bit that I absolutely understand why the kid would be so absolutely terrified, like, oh, I can't even imagine. But when he hears the plan and he says, I wish we got those special boxing gloves for Sunday treats so I'd be allowed to hit her, and I was like, no. But other than, like, obviously you can't blame that. The mother, like, makes herself sick and then rubs the sick on the kid, and it's also gruesome, and she doesn't flush the poo, and it's just, I don't know why I said poo, it's just, I don't know, the whole language of the book's rubbing on me. Do you mind? Gross, like, to be fair, that was really gross. And that old shit didn't even take him anywhere, and the mother thought that that would be the case. And now I sort of appreciated more why she's always making sure that he doesn't get sick, while she tries to make certain that he gets the vitamins and the dose and the proportions of vegetable and everything, and then so careful about the germs, because we see that from the very beginning of the book, that she's so careful about the germs and being sick, because she knows that if he, oh my god, shut up, if the kid was to get sick, he could die, because it wouldn't be treated, because he wouldn't, because the guy does not give a crap. Obviously he's clearly not humane, and so clearly the plan B is much scarier than the plan A. Not that plan A wasn't scary enough, but she has to wrap the kid in the carpet, well, the rug, sorry, so that she plans this very well though, like the way when Nick comes, oh my god, shut the fuck. Okay, so that happened. Got my soup though now, so where was I? Okay, so the kid actually has to go through the plan B, which is absolutely horrible. The kid gets picked up, and that scene, I couldn't stop because I originally planned to read a little bit less. But I couldn't stop because obviously I needed to see if the plan works, if they're both okay, and I just couldn't stop. Because up until that point it was a bit slow, and I had to like sort of not like force myself, but like motivate myself to read, because obviously I need to read this for this. But it was kind of slow, but it was supposed to sort of build up, and it did, and you got to know and care for the characters. But yeah, he gets picked up, and the kid like pisses and shads himself from like being scared and terrified, and that is so sad. And he says, sorry, Rug. That broke me. That's probably like the saddest part, because I could feel his fear, literally. And then he runs, and it's really frightening, that scene, because the guy picks him up and he's carrying him away, and I was like, this is so close, shout something, shout I'm being kidnapped, or say something. But the kid can't, because he just can't, he's paralyzed with fear. And thankfully that guy that saw them with the dog calls the police and reports it, and thankfully old Nick just drops the kid and runs away. And thankfully he doesn't run to the room, and because that's what I thought for sure at first that the guy was gonna go back to the room and kill the girl, but apparently he just probably fled. But yeah, kid gets like bitten by a dog. So yeah, they find the mother, and the mother is fine, and the kid is crying so much, he's so terrified. This is all new to him, he's never seen outside world, and I think the mother really tries to understand, but I don't think she gets it to the full extent, because obviously we're inside the kid's head, and he wants what's familiar, because it's all new. It doesn't have anything familiar, do you know what I mean, except for the mother. That's why he's so clingy, because obviously everything else is different, and he wants to go back to the room, because that's all he knew. That's home, that's his world for him. And obviously the mother has been there before, and I thought it was a really, I still get so uncomfortable thinking about whenever the kid is saying like I'm getting some, it's like, oh, I can't stand it, like I can't stand it, like it's too disturbing for me. That's the, like, I don't know what it says about me that's the most disturbing part for me, that is a 5-year-old still breastfeeding and he does it in like, anyway, like I totally get it, but oh my god, okay, I can't. It's just for me, like personally, I just can't. But yeah, he's so overwhelmed and he wants to go back, and obviously the mother has only negative feelings towards the room, and she doesn't understand, and she keeps like reminding him that they're never gonna get there, that they're never gonna go back, that the treats are not gonna come only on Sundays now, it doesn't have to be like you can get whatever you want. And I don't think the kid has been sat down and like I don't think anything was properly like introduced to him, like the new information bit by bit. Obviously they're gonna have people helping them with that, but I don't think the mother fully comprehends that he can't understand what's happening. He is very overwhelmed. I mean, she knows that, but you know what I mean. So they get carried and they're put in like a psychiatric hospital to help them start feeling safe and to, I assume, offer some therapy to the kid. And the last bit that was important that I knew was that old Nick was captured and he's now in jail. But there was a funny bit where the doctor says, "How you doing?" and Jack says, "Okay," and he's like, "Give me 5," and he's like, I didn't give him 5, like I needed those fingers for myself. So that was kind of funny because he's obviously no social interaction skills are actually well developed in him, and I was kind of surprised when so that's where I'm at now. They just had to try their first breakfast and they're still in there, and there's quite a bit of the book left, which I'm sort of surprised. Also, I read quite a bit this morning, but yeah, I'm sort of surprised because I thought that it will just end with them escaping and this would be the end, but clearly there's still quite a bit to go. So I'm not entirely certain what that's gonna be about, so I'm kind of intrigued, but I'm gonna, I think, leave it for now at least. And yeah, I'm gonna go eat my soup. It's just some lentil soup. Didn't really come out that great. I usually just like split pea instead of lentil, but oh well, don't have that. I'm gonna watch some Friends, I think, and chill for a little bit, and then like start doing my new bullet journal because cats ruined my previous one. And I'll catch up with you later. Oh no, actually wait, I want to check if anybody has had any thoughts on the dying part. That's another chapter, so let me just check if anyone's commented anything. No, there's one post and for people who finished the book, but there are no other ones. That's fine. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading your comments down below. Or comments, that reminds me, I really need to reply to some comments. I read them all as they come in, by the way. When I reply, I usually just sit down for like an hour and I reply to everybody, but I let it go a little bit and now it's all like overwhelming. Anyway, gonna go watch some stuff. My suit's probably getting cold, so love you all and see you in a bit. Well, for you it's just gonna be now, so really need to wash my hair before work tomorrow, but I won't because it's too late now. So I haven't updated you on what is up. I actually have finished the book because it just so happened that once I sat down to read from one point onwards, I couldn't stop. And I was feeling, I just feel like I have this cold that is just like not going away properly, and yeah, didn't really feel like picking up the camera, I'm sorry. Jeez. Right, so I'm just gonna start from, this is not actually that much that I didn't update you for, so that's alright. So I'm just gonna go through my tabs with you. So first one, I actually have quite a few blue ones, which means that there was something funny. So for once, when the kid thought that cleaner meant that a person that's cleaner than others, and I just never thought about that, and I thought it was hilarious. Then there's this part where the mother is speaking to one of the nurses, I want to say, I don't know. And she's saying, you know, something like, Noreen says it works better if you add as much salt as flour. Did you know that? I didn't know that. How would I? I never thought to ask for food coloring. It's just like, you never really think about these things of how she was trying to raise this kid without actually preparing to raise this kid, and she had no help to raise this kid, and she obviously did not know much about it because it's not like when she was 19 and walking to college, she already researched it, and it's not like she can Google whatever she needs to, and it just really hits you in the feels, doesn't it? I found that so ridiculous that old Nick wouldn't be prosecuted in court for basically not helping her to deliver the first baby, and the first baby wasn't born alive because of that lack of support, because I assume, you know, the umbilical cord around the neck is not extremely uncommon, it can be dealt with, but because the baby was technically born already dead, that he can be held accountable. That's ridiculous. That is such a massive flaw in the system, and I get it, but it makes me like angry. And she goes ahead and she tells Jack about the baby monkey experiment, about the love and the mother, and that it's not just nutrients, it's the mother's at least touch or support that is needed. I remember actually studying this in developmental psychology, and it's just like, it shocked me back then, behavior of the monkeys that did not get that. To hear that as a kid would be absolutely horrible. And then she's doing this interview and Ma turns to Morris and she says, "Is she allowed to ask me such stupid questions?" That scene though, to be fair, I think that was the most frustrating scene ever, because that's just like everything that's wrong with current media. They just butt in, they're just looking for scandal, they just disregard anything, they're just looking for like keywords to attack people with, and that just, oh, that annoyed me so much. That lady that's pretending to be nice, and I can already hear it. It was such a brilliant scene. You can hear that sweet host voice, and they're just being so insensitive, and it's just so frustrating. Oh, I wanted her to like be punched. And then the most horrible was the question, why didn't you, did it ever occur to you to actually ask your captor to take Jack away so he would have a normal childhood, because she was adopted, and they're basically saying he could have been adopted. And I wish I knew her actual name. I don't think that the mother thought about that before this was mentioned, but obviously if you mention something like that to a woman that tried her best and thought she did her best, and that's probably the only thought that drove her to live and not to give up, and then you throw something like that at her face. And I was like, well, I'm having massive flashbacks to my previous book diary, because exact same thing happened there. The battery died, so whatever. So yeah, once you throw something like that at a woman who's already so vulnerable, and then you expect her to be fine, I think it was the most heartbreaking part for me in this book, just because that realization that possibly she did not do best by Jack by keeping him, and to call her selfish because she kept her baby, and for her knowing that it is possibly true, is just, it would be too much to handle for anyone on its own, let alone all the PTSD and depression that is like lurking in her after all that she suffered. So that was an insanely horrible scene for me to read. There was another sort of funny bit just before that, because Uncle Paul said, "Hey buddy," and then Jack said, "I think buddy is man talk for sweetie," and that, I thought it was funny. And so Ma is having what Jack refers to as a gone day. It's basically her not being able to deal with the real world, and she's just being catatonic and depressed. He goes with his uncle to what was supposed to be a trip to the National Museum, I think, and they don't make it, and that whole scene was so intense. It was so overwhelming, and I thought the writing of that scene was brilliant, because it really just conveyed how overwhelming it is for the kid to be out for the first time with people who don't know that he's not used to such things. Like, I mean, they know, but they don't know. Do you know what I mean? Then he comes back and he finds his mother who OD'd from her pills, and the code blue is announced, and it's actually absolutely heartbreaking. And all I could think of, on top of everything, will this kid actually now going to lose his mother as well? Oh man, that was, oh yeah. And I know that it's gonna sound absolutely terrible, but I think that it was sort of necessary for Jack to move on, because obviously we know she didn't die. But I was like, I was literally looking at the book and being like, seriously? Is that, it was all of this before not enough? But yeah, we know she survived, but I think it was actually essential for Jack to be separated from his mother, because if his mother were alive or healthy and available, it would never be to this extent. I don't think he would ever have gone to live with the grandparents and to start to be more independent and less, I don't want to say less anxious, but separation anxiety was a real thing here. He couldn't even let his mother go for an interview downstairs, let alone actually leave without her, and him being forced to do that, be it as extremely extreme good words there, I think in the long run it probably helped him a lot. And I really liked, is it Steppa that they called him? You know, the step grandparent. I really admired him. He was such a amazing father figure that he's never had, and I thought it was really important to introduce a male figure in this book that communicates with Jack on the grounds of, you know, an authoritarian figure that is not just absolutely abusive and horrible and scary like old Nick. And I'm surprised that the boy did not have more apprehension before he started interacting with Stepa more, you know, a little bit more than that of the female. I thought that would be sort of reasonable because, you know, the oppressor was male and that was the only male representative for him. So I thought that was a little bit weird and lacking, and I'm not saying that it should be the case, but in my eyes I feel like it would make sense for the boy to just not be, I mean, I understand he was afraid of everybody and just aware of everybody, but I feel like males should have been scarier for him. I don't know. And I thought that was really a genuine connection that he made with his grandmother and Stepa. Hope that's what it was called, otherwise I'm just being silly. I thought what I absolutely adored about the grandmother is that she actually asked if he wanted any of his items to be retrieved from the room, something that the mother could not and would not even consider, because she wanted nothing to do with the room, because room was reminder of everything wrong, and I don't think she would even stop to consider that room was a reminder of everything that he knew for the kid, and that room is where his life was, and it was all ripped away. So in a very exaggerated form, him escaping from the room was him being taken out of the reality he knew, much like her being abducted from the reality she knew as a college student and put into the room. You know, it's just two completely different environments, and, you know, obviously it's not the same, but I'm hoping that you know what I'm meaning with this metaphor. I'm just saying that it was really extreme, and I don't think it was well done, his separation from the room, because clearly he wasn't ready. The whole second part of the book was him dealing with this not being ready. I'm just very glad that at the very end she did agree to go with him, although it wasn't probably necessary to drag the mother with him, because I can only assume that it will be healthy for her at some point to revisit that place, but I don't necessarily think that that was the best time and that she was ready, but you know, whatever. And it was funny when the grandmother is saying, oh, you grew up without Legos? I don't imagine anyone growing up without Legos. And I'm just like, and Stepa is being, but there's a couple billion children in the world managing somehow. And it was just like, of all the things that he didn't have, Legos, what you think was the hardest. Then there was this moment where Stepa and the kid are playing with his peeling skin from the burns that he caught from just being outside, really, and it was just such a bonding and boyish experience. And even the grandmother is saying like men, and it was just so, it was one of the most amazing scenes for me in the book, because it just gave me the warm feels. And Jack also asks for his hair to be cut, and or he cuts it himself, I can't remember now. So that's probably a big change for him as well. So all of this time the mother is still absent, and she comes back after a while, and she takes Jack because she clearly doesn't really want to be next to her mother, which is, I'm not gonna comment. I don't feel like, I don't know. The mother is a bit of a mystery to me. I adore her, and at the same time I don't think that any reader will understand her, because from the kid's perspective you just can't. And I don't think we're given enough details to understand properly what she's going through. And sometimes I think it's quite easy to judge, not because of the suicidal thoughts or attempts or anything like that, but just because through Jack's eyes it's shown as betrayal, and it's shown as being too strict sometimes and too unreasonable. And this is a kid's perspective, we need to remember. That is the kid's perspective, so I don't want to, like, you know, assume anything, but it's sort of annoying to me. The only part, well, I don't know if that's the only part, but the part that was sort of annoying to me is that she didn't seem particularly grateful, I suppose, that the grandmother took care of the kid, and she was dismissive of Stepa because it's not her father. And I don't know, I obviously don't know the reasons why, but I know she resents her parents, and maybe it's because she thinks that they didn't put enough effort to finding her. I don't know, but that sort of annoyed me. Like, at least stay close to them. I don't know. So they move into another flat, and where she can be under the observation for her mental health, and I'm just glad to see that she's recovering and that both of them are taking steps towards a healthier lifestyle, like separating the rooms and getting their own space. And I'm surprised that women actually didn't go completely nuts, because oh my god, being stuck in a single room with anyone would drive me absolutely crazy for so many years. But to be stuck in it with a kid, I don't think I could handle it. Like, I honestly, like, I obviously would if I had to, but it would be just a gazillion times harder than being stuck with an adult or even like a teenager. I don't know. Just being stuck in that responsible role where obviously you're responsible for yourself and someone else, which I assume helped her survive, but at the same time, can you imagine? I wouldn't want to be responsible for someone else in that type of situation, because I would want someone to share my worries with, you know? I want to split this torture, not just carry and pretend that it's not for somebody else's sake. I mean, sometimes that is a good coping mechanism, but I don't know, I just feel like it would be soul crushing. And so the last scene, they visited the room, and it was extremely a powerful scene again, because you can see how much it is hard for her to deal with that, because she's next to that room, and she physically cannot help to control her feelings and emotions and anxiety, and she is physically sick. She's sick next to it. She's sick next to the stillborn's grave. And so the last scene, I think, is them making, I think it was a very positive note. I really thought that it wasn't like, oh, happily ever after. No, but it was them starting to heal, and it was them trying to make a list of all the things that they want to try or want to do when they're feeling a bit braver than they are at the moment. And I thought it was such a brilliant touch, and I thought it was the perfect way to finish this book. And so all in all, I think this is definitely 5 out of 5 for me. Honestly, I wasn't sure what was gonna happen in like the second half of the book once they escaped, because I was like, oh, because I sort of thought it's gonna go on and on and on. But I'm actually pretty glad, because I think the amount that they were in the room was enough of the amount of them being in the room, because it did get quite repetitive, and obviously. So I was glad, and I was not expecting that though, and I was really surprised in a really nice way, because it just, more often than not, you will hear a traumatic story and no part of recovery is gonna be covered in the book or the movie, especially book actually. Usually sometimes you get the dramas and the movies, but in the books usually it's just, you know, the plot, and then like assume whatever happens afterwards. But here we got half of the book of actual recovery, or at least the very beginning stage of, I don't know, acceptance and steps towards recovery, and I thought it was really interesting. On a somewhat unrelated note, I watched the movie, and of course it wasn't as good as the book, but actually wasn't like nowhere near good as the book. They changed a lot of things, although they kept the dialogue pretty much out of the book. Do you know what I mean? Like they used similar sentences, and it wasn't the worst adaptation that I've seen, but it just lagged so much, because obviously it wasn't from like the kids' perspective, because it was the movie, it was from our perspective. So it just made me appreciate even more that this is from the 5-year-old's perspective. This was a brilliant decision, I think. So all in all, I really love this, and I hope you're gonna tell me your thoughts, and I hope that you're going to talk to me down in the comments. Please be free to be as spoilery as you want to, because I don't expect people to stumble across this video if they haven't read this. So speak to me, let me know your thoughts. I really look forward to reading these comments, and let me know if you've seen the movie as well and what you thought about that. Anyway, what a journey. It wasn't as frightening as I thought, although it was a ride. So yeah, extremely happy that I grabbed this. I think if not for this, because I had this for a while now, but I feel like if not for this Book in a Jar project, it would have been like at least a year until I get the courage to actually grab and read it. So I'm super glad about this. Book in a Jar keeps pushing me towards reading the books that I keep like postponing, and that is just it's perfect for me, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!